Hello everyone, welcome to day 8 of my 30-day beginner yoga series. This video focuses on the arm balances, crow pose, and side crow pose with some strengthening exercises mixed in. You'll want to make sure you're nice and warm before you attempt the poses in this video, so I'll send you guys back to day 3 of the beginner yoga series. Flow through those sun salutations, make sure your body's nice and warmed up before you begin. Once you're warm, we'll start working on crow pose. So hands come in front of the feet. Lean forward so the insides of your knees rest on the backs of your elbows. Begin to feel your body weight pressing through your hands into the mat and lean forwards and backwards. If this is as far as you come today with your crow pose, that's totally cool. Don't get discouraged. Just keep working on it. You're already building strength. And to rock forward and back. Take these exercises at your own pace or simply watch and then do them at your own time. Next time you're forward, go ahead and hold there. If you'd like to come a step further, you can lean forward and see if you can pick one foot up off the mat and then the other. So we'll try that together. Lift up, lift your right toes, set them down, and lift your left, and set them down. Something to keep in mind when you're working crow pose is that it's a full body exercise. So you're engaging your core, you're pressing through your shoulders. Engage, engage, squeezing your big toes to touch. If you choose to come all the way up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And when you first start out your crow, you'll likely be very close to the ground, like I am here. As you get stronger, your hips will lift higher and your arms will straighten a little more. So we'll try that one more time. Deep breath in and lift up. And release. Go ahead and rest here. I'll show you guys what it looks like as you get stronger in your crow. You'll be able to pull your heels closer towards your hips and lift your hips a little bit higher. There we are. Next up, I have an exercise that'll help you strengthen that inner core strength and your shoulders. So come to a kneeling position. Hands come to your sides, fingertips in line with your knees. Round out through your back, protracting through the shoulders as we worked on in yesterday's video. On your next exhale, begin to lift your hips high and lower. So my hips come up pretty high because I've been doing this exercise for a while. But if your hips only lift a couple inches, keep working at it. You'll get them higher and higher as you get stronger. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep pressing through the shoulders. Lift. If this is not comfortable for you to be on the tops of your feet, you can absolutely tuck your toes. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Come all the way down and swing your feet in front of you for one more exercise here that'll help your shoulder strength out a ton. Legs go in front, hands by your sides. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, see if you can lift your hips just a tiny bit off the floor. If they don't come off the floor, that's fine, as long as you're working with your shoulders to press down and lift. If you're doing these with me, Lift 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Take a big roll in the shoulders. Sit up tall. Inhale, both hands up high above your head, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach, and one more sweep up. Meet back at heart center. We'll swing the legs back around. Come to a position where you're balancing on your toes here. Knees are bent, hips towards your heels. Toe heel your feet out wide. Come back to Malasana or your yogi squat, and we'll work through those exercises one more time. Lean forward. Find your crow variation, whatever that means to you, whether your toes lift or not. Keep working. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Drop your knees to the ground, fingertips in line with the knees. Deep breath in, and exhale, lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing your legs all the way around, feet out in front of you. Plant your hands, deep breath in. And on your next exhale, press up. 8, 7, 6. If you want to lift one foot at a time, you can do it. 5, 4. Challenge yourself. 3, 2, 1, and release. Come back to that position where you're on your toes, hips to heels. And last pose I want to introduce you guys to is a side crow. So one elbow stacks below the knee and one elbow stacks below the hip. Begin to feel your body weight and see if you can lean to that side. Again, I encourage you to watch first, then pause the video and try. A second variation here, if you're not quite flexible enough to get the elbow on the hip, is to float it out to the side. And we'll try on the other side. First variation with elbow to the hip looks like this. And second variation, floating the left arm wide, looks like this. Go ahead, come back to your Malasana, and we'll hold in each of the side crow and crow arm balances. Crow's coming up first. Take your hands down to the mat, deep breath in, let it go. And on your next inhale, lift up and hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back down. Moving on to side crow. Pick a side. In your next inhale, lift up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And switch on over to the other side. On your next inhale, lift up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower. Go ahead and drop your knees and sink your hips back towards your heels for child's pose. Stretch your hands out in front of you. Give your shoulders a rest. Thank you all for tuning into this video. Hopefully you got a good workout and learned some things about arm balances. Make sure to leave me any questions you have in the comments below, or any comments at all. I'd love to hear it. Make sure you tune in for tomorrow's video, day 9, and have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Namaste.